So let us start. Hi, Comrade Dimitri. It's very nice. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. We would like to ask you first. I mean, you're an internationalist, you're a revolutionary. How do you see the invasion of Ukraine? How do you see the current situation of the war?
Of course, as internationalist, I'm opposing the war. This war is started as a very big crime already in 2014, and now escalated to the full-scale war and invasion to Ukraine, not only to the east of Ukraine. And of course, as communists, I'm against the war. But in the current situation, it's not only we are saying that we are against the war, but I think we should fully support the people in Ukraine who defend against this invasion. They do it by support of NATO, but the civil people take arms, create Molotov cocktails, and trying to defend against the second strongest army officially in the world. And I don't see the direct economical reasons of Putin to this invasion. I don't see the political rational reasons to continue this invasion. Yes, I think this invasion is about telling the world that Russia is strong, Russia can do whatever it wants, and it doesn't care about people in Ukraine, it doesn't care about Russian economy, it cares only about its power, even its power if its economical power is now destroyed. Yes. So this is my point.
It sounds reasonable, right?
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. What would you like to tell militants in Argentina and worldwide about this conflict, about this war that we oppose? What would you like to recommend? What would you like to advise? What would you like to tell them? What you think must be the perspective for internationalists now?
First of all, I want to tell you that there is no doubt about that all this denazification and demilitarization of Ukraine that is said by Russian propaganda is total lie. So propaganda builds the image of Ukraine as some Nazist, fascist country, and their main argument and that they want to liberate Ukrainians from Nazism. So don't believe it. Yes, Ukraine has some problems with nationalism, but every capitalist country has these problems, especially Russia. And Russian propaganda is extremely chauvinistic. So there is no anti-fascism in these actions. So don't believe it. Don't believe that Ukraine is just a puppet of USA imperialism. Yes, it depends on European economy. It's not a secret. It's a lot of countries depending on the imperialist countries. Yes, this is the natural state of our world. But people defending not the economy of oligarchs. They don't defend the property of oligarchs. They don't defend the property of USA or Europe. They defend in their lives. They defend in the small things that left now. So and in Russia, Russia became police state, and nowadays it becomes the ultra military, totally autocratic, without any freedoms for people to speak, to protest. So I think internationalists from all over the world should look at this conflict from this perspective. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult for Western leftists to act now, because they were always fighting against NATO. NATO is the evil. Yes, it's I don't oppose it. But a lot of leftists now are saying, okay, if we repeat some words, the same words that liberals say, for example, hands off Ukraine, we automatically liberals. It's not, and this formal logical negotiation is not good. So please think internationally. Please think in perspective of what's happening. What are Ukrainian people do now? Listen to them.
I think this is very important. So let us repeat. Please do not believe the propaganda of Russia, the propaganda of those who support the Russian invasion. The Ukrainian people, they need us. So,
The next one?
yes.
So, Dimitri, I would ask you, Convergencia Socialista here in Argentina and our international CCWA are calling for the organization of solidarity committees for Ukraine. What would be your advice, please?
Oh, it's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question. So I'm looking now at my perspective in Germany. Yes, I'm currently in Germany, and our current solidarity is practical questions. It's about the humanitarian help. It's about helping refugees with accommodation. It's about making room for Ukrainian people to speak about their problems and to integrate the refugees. Another problem is to say about the hypocrisy of European leadership. They still want to buy gas and oil from Russia, and a lot of sanctions will not work. So they only make some image of that they are opposing the regime, but they always lead their own game. So we should look at their actions very precise and see what is their real motivation to do these political steps. And of course we should give a lot of informational events and bring information to people that these problems are important. Yes, it's Ukraine is far away from Argentina. It's not far away from Europe, and you have a lot of connections, and there is always a room to show the international solidarity.
Excellent. Well, I think it became obvious we share the same approach to the whole conflict, to what shall be done. But we know there are other forces, reformist, centrist forces, and beyond, who do not share our approach, who hesitate to give any support to the Ukraine, who are kind of caught in this situation. What would you like to tell to these forces? Those who don't think like we, those who do not support Ukraine, what would you like to tell them? It's a Russian movement.
Yeah, I want to tell that in Russia we had a lot of political events when we have to say, okay, we are against NATO invasion in Iraq. We are against these NATO war crimes, and or we are against some actions of French, German, American imperialism in Africa, and for example in South America. And this us, the Putin's friends. This didn't make us liberals. If we say truth, we are on the side of working class. And we made these choices. We had discussions. And it's now turned of European and Western leftists to see that there is not only the one big evil NATO. Yes, there is also another countries that are not doing good things. And if you are opposing them, you don't become the NATO's friends.
Mm.
That's all.
Thank you very much, comrade.
So I ask you the last question, Dimitri, maybe. Last but not least, how do you say for an independent and socialist Ukraine in Russian language?
In Russian language, what we used in our demonstrations, we used the slogan for the uniform Soviet Ukraine. Единая Советская Украина.
Oh, this sounds great.
За единую Советскую Украину. And we repeated it also in Ukrainian language. Едина Радянська Україна.
Едина Радянська Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Okay, excellent. We will train to speak this correctly. Thank you very much.
My Ukrainian is also not the best. Yeah, I also have to train.
Thank you very much for your time.